Welcome, my dear Aveda family from around the world. Thank you for joining us for this exciting industry-changing moment. We're talking about hair color without compromise. Now, what do we mean when we say that? Aveda is a company who believes in the power of and, not of or. And we believe that you should be able to have it all. You don't have to choose between superior performance, caring for your guests, and respecting the planet. So when we began to create Aveda Full Spectrum Permanent Vegan Treatment Hair Color 3 years ago, we partnered with many of you, over 300 Aveda artists, educators, and salon owners from around the world, to identify pain points and ensure that we maintained what you loved about Full Spectrum Permanent. We wanted to go above and beyond to make sure that your guests love their hair color and that you are extremely happy with the results. We precisely calibrated each color to ensure predictability so that you can let your artistry shine. Aveda Full Spectrum Permanent Vegan Treatment Hair Color is the perfect coming together of nature's art and science. And our in-house team of amazing scientists heard your feedback loud and clear, and they went back and created a formula that not only delivers on these asks, but resulted in a remarkable discovery. An industry-first exclusive technology, which you will hear about in a few minutes. It's a hair color with incredible color deposition, vibrancy, and longevity on even the most difficult to maintain red shades. It's 100% gray coverage on even the most stubborn grays, and all of that in just 30 minutes. This improved processing time allows you to get more color guests into your chairs. And we've added to the full spectrum palette with an expanded shade range, a new Natural Cool series, a more opaque Natural series, 4 new pure tones, and a new pink pure pigment. All fully customizable for you to create unlimited shade possibilities. And still with 50% fewer SKUs than leading competitors, helping to save you money on inventory. So caring for your guests and their hair is always foremost in our minds. So Aveda Full Spectrum Permanent Vegan Treatment Hair Color is dermatologist tested. And we've added 20% more oils for enhanced conditioning and shine. And when you then partner Full Spectrum Permanent Vegan Treatment Hair Color with the Botanical Repair Professional Color Treatment, you help to strengthen and repair 3 key layers of hair of your guests, and the guest will leave with 5 times stronger hair than before the color service. And in the spirit of no compromise, and because we live our mission of providing supreme respect for the planet, we have set another new industry standard in sustainability. Aveda Full Spectrum Permanent Vegan Treatment Hair Color is 96% naturally derived, vegan, and cruelty-free. It is manufactured with 100% solar and wind power. And with this launch, we are the first hair color brand to use 100% recycled content in our aluminum hair color tubes. Why do we do that? Because 95% less energy is used to produce recycled aluminum. We reduce CO2 emissions and save 38 tons of virgin aluminium from being produced. And our unit carton is made with 100% recycled fiber, is Forest Stewardship Council certified, and is 100% recyclable. So I couldn't be more proud of the accomplishments that we've achieved in the formulation of this hair color. For me, it's a true marriage of artistry, biotech natural, and green chemistry, bringing to life our commitment to set an example for environmental leadership and responsibility, not just in the world of beauty, but around the world. And now I'd like to introduce Ian Michael Black, Global Artistic Director of Hair Color. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, and welcome for joining us wherever you are in the world to our global launch of the next generation of Aveda Full Spectrum. So one thing that I love is everything is done under one roof. So in our manufacturing and offices in Blaine, we are powered up to 50% by our new solar array, which you can see behind me. So I wanted to start by just telling you a little bit about the development of this new product before we get into telling you a little bit more and showing you some beautiful models. So at Blaine, we have 7 full-time scientists who work on hair color. We source our raw materials, our organic oils that give us that shine and condition. And we also have an in-house aromaologist. So we wanted to give you a really nice sensorial experience with our new hair color. So we have a beautiful new aroma, which is very different. It's going to be one of the first things you notice about the hair color. And it's a mix of peppermint, clove, orange and lime, and smells just amazing. So on site we have a formulation lab where all of our scientists work on different iterations as we work through of getting this color to you. We have an internal research salon where we test it. We manufacture everything there, so when we start, things are handmade, hand batched for us to try. So when we create hair color, what we like to do is work with Aveda artists globally. So one thing we always want to do is ask the network. So we really listened on social media and asked our educators and in classes and really kind of behind the scenes listened to what people wanted from hair color. And this helps us shape how we create this line for you. So once we have listened, we've got things, we know what technology we can use, we like to put together a task force. So we have had all sorts of people from all over the globe helping us. And behind the scenes, secretly, they've been testing products all the way from some of our first ideas and different ways in which we wanted to work with the color through different versions to what we have giving out to you there. So there's lots of hairdressers involved all the way through the process, from the first conception all the way through having our launch product. So some of the things that are different with our new full spectrum is we listen to you. Now, we have natural series that we know and love, and we still want to be able to formulate in exactly the same way as we do right now and get the same results. So we can still do that. So it's a really seamless transition. But what we have done is listen to you and added some extra things for you to really play around with and create some amazing new colors. So the first one is we have now extended our natural series. So we're still going to have our natural series with the same beautiful results that we get today. Then to sit alongside that, we have 2 others. So the first one is called Natural Cool. So we listened, people wanted a cooler base, so that's what our scientists have made. And it's calibrated for each level. And what we did is, rather than just kind of add a bit of tone into our natural series, it's developed from fresh and it's designed with a natural cool brown dye package in it. And what that means is it's not going to interfere in our tones and how we formulate, because that's not what we want. We want to really create that beautiful cooler result. So when you want to take things a little cooler, it's going to work side by side, complementing those ash tones to really help subdue that natural warmth in the hair. The other thing that we heard was people want stronger grey coverage. So our third line in our natural series is our new NN series. So we know we love to be able to customize grey coverage, and NN as a tone is not going to go away. We can still have that. We can still create those colors that we know and love with that. But what we are giving you is another tool for grey coverage. So this is a line of natural series, and of course it can be customized and added with tones and pure pigments. But what this is designed to give a heavy, slightly cooler grey coverage. So for those of you that like to play around with that customization of grey, this is going to be a new thing to do. And like the NC, it has a slightly cooler base than our current NN tone has. And then of course we've got new tones for you, and you're going to see some of them later. And over the years, we've had favorite formulas that people love. For those of you that have been around a long time, if you remember Acacia Beige, this is one of the things that people love to do, is mix VB and YO. It gives you that really nice, soft tonal quality in hair. So we took that, we really kind of played around with it, refined it, and made that for the modern age. So we have 2 new kind of brunette and blonde tones, and they can be mixed with natural series or natural cool series or NN series. And what we have is we have a beige series and a matte. So you're going to see some new tones. You're going to see a YB and a YV for our beige series. And remember, when we're mixing warm and cool, when we formulate, for YB, for instance, the blue is going to go to help neutralize out some of that natural remaining pigment and going to leave us with that softer, much more refined gold quality to our hair color. And then on the slightly cooler side for our brunettes and blondes, we're going to have gray green and gray violet. And what that gives us is a very soft, slightly cooler brunette or blonde results. And then we wanted to give you an extra pure pigment. So we gave you a pink, and what's great about this is it gives us a whole new tonal quality to add into everything. So whether we are using it to create nice vibrant pinks using an oxidative dye, or we're mixing in, and I will tell you my favorites is I love using it at 7, 8, 9. It gives the most beautiful refined results. So I know you're going to enjoy everything. There's so much coming up. We have classes, we have some online education, we have all sorts of things like that. So I thought it would be quite nice to introduce you to a friend of mine who I have worked with for a very long time, and she is really at the heart of creating Aveda hair color. So I would like to introduce you to Darcy Prater. Thank you for joining us, Darcy. Now, I know you and I have worked together on many projects, many hair color launches over the years, and we work very closely. But a lot of the people out there probably have never seen you. You're always tucked away in the lab, formulating and dreaming up new ideas for hair color. So do you want to introduce yourself to everybody and tell them who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, I'm Darcy Prater. I'm the director of the professional hair care formulation team at Aveda. That means my team is responsible for all the professional products, which include hair color.
She's being very modest there. So Darcy is the lady that really heads up some of the innovation and a whole team of people to create the beautiful hair color that we love. So this next generation of full spectrum, I know has a bit of a story with the alkalizer in it. So do you want to tell everybody out there what is special about our new alkalizer package?
Sure, but before we talk about what's special about the new alkalizer package, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what an alkalizer system does. Alkalizers serve many functions. They increase the pH of the hair color bases, which activate the hydrogen peroxide to cause the developer to lift the hair. They increase the pH, which swells the hair fiber to allow the dyes to penetrate. They also accelerate the oxidative dye chemistry. But there's one unwanted function that happens when you're dealing with alkalizers. Amynolysis is the breakdown of keratin. This results in damage to the hair fiber. Common alkalizers that are used in the industry are AMP, or aminomethylpropanol, ammonium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, MEA, also known as ethanolamine. Most of these alkalizers, the most effective alkalizers, contain an amine group. Every hair color category that we have has a specific alkalizer package that's formulated for the specific needs of that category. While we were working to build this alkalizer package for the new full spectrum hair color that we're launching, we had an incredible discovery that we came across in the lab. We found that using a combination of dimethyl aminomethylpropanol, what we refer to as DMAMP, and ammonium hydroxide. When we put these in combination to maintain the lift of the hair color, we are also protecting the keratin fibers, keratin bonds. DMAMP, that specific material cannot damage the structure of the keratin in the cortex of the hair. It just does not have the chemical mechanism to do so. So this proprietary blend also creates a faster chemical reaction that enhances the penetration of the color into the hair shaft, resulting in better deposition, vibrancy, and color longevity.
So basically, if you don't speak science like I don't, what she's saying is we have a new alkalizer, DMAP, which we are really pleased to put this out, and we're one of the first to use it in the industry. And we're going to get better deposition of color, longer lasting color, and as always, care for the hair and have better condition. Now, talking of condition, I know one of the other things that we're very proud of is what we do with our organic essential oils in our colour. And a lot of the time people will ask me, what do they do, or why are they in there? Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, when we formulate hair color, we specifically look at materials for structure and function. Oils in general, the same thing happens there. So we take a blend of oils and we do our analytical testing on them to fit in those functional properties. We then put those oils into the base formulations, and then those base formulations are then tested specifically in vivo or in vitro. So they're tested in the analytical labs and also on human panelists in the salon.
So basically, you want that shine, you want that condition, it's the oils that do it. Now, we all know we are very proud at Aveda of saying what our percentage of naturally derived is. You know, and I always say, if somebody's not going to tell you what the percentage of naturally derived in their product is, maybe it's not so much. But one thing that people always ask about is, you know, we're very proud of saying it's 96% naturally derived. But how do we come about that number, or where does that come from?
So over the years, we've made percent naturally derived calculations on our products, and we speak to them. However, over the past couple of years, we've even gone a little bit further and started using a standard called ISO 16128. This is a standard that's used to numerically determine the degree of natural origins of each of our raw materials. We have a team specifically at Aveda that does this. So they look at the calculations for each of the raw materials, and then we put that into the formulation, and then we can determine what the percent naturally derived value is of the formulation as a whole. So this team is the team that really enjoys doing math.
Not me. So I think what we are trying to say is it's a very complex kind of way, and we really look at the raw materials and what percentage that ends up in. And I know that we are trying to standardize that across the kind of the beauty industry in a way. So we are really pushing that forward as a standard. And I know other people use it now to calculate things, but we really want to kind of push that forward within the industry to have more transparency across the industry of what is kind of natural, what is eco, what is, you know, all those kind of things. Now, one of the other, and I'm going to sound like I know a lot about chemistry now, Stereth 21. Tell us about that, because I know that's actually a kind of new version of it that you've been working with for this colour. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the key here is Stereth 21 is an emulsifier. So emulsifiers work in hair color to bind water to oil. It's really important in hair color bases specifically because hair color it either lives at a very alkaline pH range, or on the opposite end of it, you've got your hydrogen peroxide developers that live in the acidic range, and it's really hard sometimes to stabilize these formulations. So over 20 years we've been using Stereth 21 kind of as a backbone, a robust emulsifier. But just in the past couple years we've been working with our raw material vendors, as we typically do with sourcing ingredients, and we've come across, or they've come across actually, eco or a bio-based Stereth 21. You'll see this will impact our percent naturally derived significantly as we use this material in our developers and also in our hair color. So with this new launch, we will see an increase in our percent naturally derived numbers or scores based on this material.
So basically us pushing our vendors, because obviously we have to get our raw materials from, you know, all over the world, but we've been pushing our vendors to work with us to have a more naturally derived version of Stereth 21 instead of a, I guess, what was it made of anyway? Like a
synthetic version of it.
Just synthetic. And what's great about it is because you've partnered with our suppliers on that, what that means is that's going to be available to other companies as well. So it's us working with other companies for them to make available much more eco versions of everything for other companies to use. So we're really kind of not just trying to push ourselves from a mission related standpoint, but also really trying to bring the industry forward and really show that we are about everybody doing it together to really kind of make a difference. So I would like to say very big thank you to you, Darcy. It's always a pleasure working with you. And she's going to have lots of things coming in the future. We're already working on some new projects, so I can't wait till we can launch those. So thank you very much, and I will definitely see you soon, but they might not see you so soon. So goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you, Darcy. So we've heard about the new technology, some of the breakthroughs and some of the industry firsts that we have in this new colour. We've heard a little bit about the new components and what's new and the creation of it. But as hair colorists, we always want to see the results. So yesterday, I worked on some models. We are showcasing some of the new things with full spectrum, and more importantly, some of the new uses for full spectrum, which I will tell you about after you've seen the models. Thank you. There are some of the models that we prepared for you to see today, and they feature some of our new components, some of our new tones, and of course really illustrate some of the extended uses of our hair colour. So with each launch, we always love to do a photo shoot and really share with you some of the ways that you can customise our colour and some on-trend looks with techniques that you can create, customize for yourself and do every day in the salon. So we have a new collection of pictures that goes with this launch, and they feature a technique called reversible color. And you'll be able to take classes about that and really be able to start to implement that into your work in the salon. And of course, we have lots of classes that you can join us so you can really get up to speed with everything that's new and all the exciting new ways you can use full spectrum. So I thought what would be fun is to bring one of those models from that collection. So, you know, sometimes we do a model and we do their hair, we give them a transformation, and sometimes they have to change their hair for another job or something. But what was great is one of our models we took from a kind of faded out, much longer blonde. We cut it, we got a nice sharp bob, we really changed the tonal quality of her hair, and we decided to bring her back 3 months later. She still has the hair, it's a little bit longer, but she was desperate for her colour to be redone and go back to that nice fiery red orange colour. So if we can bring on Lindsay, and as you can see, you saw a little bit of her earlier. Now what we have here, and you'll be able to see all the formulas on screen, so this goes for all the models that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So what we have here is this really beautiful, soft, subtle look that we mix RO and OR together. Now what you'll notice in our formulas is we're working with intense base. So like all of our colours, nothing is going away, and we've got that same performance but with better technology, and it's even kinder to the hair and to the planet. So with this we've got reversible colour, and what this gives us on this head is this really beautiful soft blend of these red based oranges. So sometimes we want a lighter, more kind of orangey orange. Now we want a slightly deeper red based orange, and we have this nice mix running through the hair. So you can see we have these subtle movements as it blends from one color to another, and it works perfectly on these kind of squarer haircuts. So sometimes thinking about how we want to color these more one length shapes, we don't want to take away from the strength of the perimeter. So we want that subtle, lustrous, expensive looking color that just changes tonal reflection slightly as we move it about. And this is a very classic example of that. So whether we want to go from intense, bright or natural series with our reds, we can do that. And one thing that you're going to see in our new shade chart is we have lots of new additions. So one of the new additions we have to our shade chart is that we now have separate columns for all our pure pigments. So whether warm or cool, we used to just have it for our red pure pigment. Now you're going to see it for our orange, our violet, our green, all of those coming through. So whether we want that real purity of just the one tone or the two, we now have really expanded our palette of reds to use on the hair. So just doing that, but also we now have on our shade chart our natural reds, our bright reds and our intense reds. So lots of new additions, lots of new ways of using our colors. So before, when we talked about pure pigments, we talked about adding them in levels 3 to 6. And what you are going to see that we have extended that much more. So we know, for instance, the prime level to do a nice intense copper is a level 7. So what you're going to see with our orange pure pigment is that now goes up so we can go into those lighter levels and create those ultimate colors, still with that incredible shine and leaving the hair in the most beautiful condition. So with Lindsay's hair, if I just move her around there, what you can start to see as we move that hair around is we have that nice soft blend and that almost like grainy quality to that, where we have that layering on of those different tones through the hair to really create a very soft but lustrous dimension all the way through the hair. And you'll notice on the formula, what we worked with is that intense base, but you'll notice we didn't actually mix into that any level. So usually when we're working with those most intense colors, we're wanting to really create that level. On Lindsay's hair, I didn't want to. I wanted to let my developer lift me up, create that vibrancy, but also take me to that perfect level for her. So we didn't really add in any of that natural series. And so we're getting even brighter, even more clarity of tone onto her hair. So this is our reds. We've talked about that extended use of our pure pigments and also some of that extended use of what we're seeing in our shade chart. So I'm going to say goodbye to the lovely Lindsay. And we're going to bring back some more models. We're going to show you some different colors and customization ideas from our customized portfolio. And you'll be able to see some of the things that you can create with our new full spectrum. Thank you, Lindsay. Next, we're going to lighten everything up a little bit and start to talk about our palette for customizable blondes. So as we know, blondes are a huge part of our business. It's some of our biggest revenue making opportunities. And of course, we want to really give you the best and be able to create the most expensive looking blondes that you can. So we know that our blonde clientele, our blonde guests are some of our most loyal. They're some of our strongest retail buyers. They have some of the largest tickets in the salon. So we want to be able to give you the tools to really take their blondes to the next level. So we're all very used to using our extra lifting cream, which again gets that same performance, but this time with that new technology, leaving the hair in even better condition. So of course, we still have our pastel pure tone options for you. So our violet and our blue that we love and we're very used to using. But what we wanted to do was really open the doors and expand the palette and give you a whole new way of looking at formulating for blondes. So what we have done with blondes is now you can customize with extra lifting cream at any of your tones. So taking those pure tones, those pure pigments, working them into your extra lifting cream to really be able to take your blonde work to the next level. So whether you're working on a much deeper base and you really want to cut out that red in there, we can start to add our green pure pigment into our extra lifting cream. Whether we want to add in a little bit of BG to dull that down a little bit and subdue some of that warmth, or whether we even want to use some of our new tones and create new tonal families within that blonde to really have that refined look, that reflection of tone that we really want to be able to see with our blondes. So I'm going to bring on May. So you saw her earlier, and she is a really good example of our blonde. So when I met her, she wanted to be a lot blonder. She wanted this fresh, much lighter look. Through the lockdown, she hadn't really had her hair done, so we wanted to really work with that. And what I thought would be really nice is to show you our new extra lifting cream, show that incredible shine that it creates on the hair, but show you really what we mixed with that. So as you can see with that formula, what we worked is our extra lifting cream with 40 volume. And for our tonal value, rather than using our pastel violet, we used our VB pure tone. So a lot of the time, our pastel colors, our pastel blue, our pastel violet, we sometimes think are stronger or are going to give us a deeper color, and they are designed to be worked with 30 or 40 volume through the hair. But what you will see is when you see the shade chart, you'll be able to see that actually you get a lot of stronger looks using the pure tones and the pure pigments than our pastel looks. So this is a nice, soft, classic blonde. She's a natural level 7. And what we worked through is with 40 volume, using that extra lifting cream with our VB tone. And I think you'll agree, it's a really nice way to get this beautiful shiny blonde, get this real clarity of tone through the hair. And it's always the thing with blondes that we want this mixture of shine, lift, and very refined tone. And I think that's what we've really been able to create here. And you can start to see where we've really cut down on that natural warmth, left a little bit of soft warmth there so it's not draining on her skin. But what we have been left with is this very clear, clean toned blonde, no need to tone it. And what we have also is left the hair in amazing condition. And as you can see from May's hair, we have that great shine that sits all the way through. And that's the thing with blondes, is it's always hard to get that shine. And with our new technology, what we are seeing is this much more kind of like mirror-like reflection, especially on those lighter levels. And again, of course, keeping that hair in the optimum condition as we work through. So with our blondes, our new story with that is everything that we know and love, we can still do. We don't have to change any habits if we're loving those formulas we're getting with our pastel pure tones. But what you will be seeing in our shade chart is extra lifting cream mixed with every tone we have. So it opens the possibilities of what we can customize with our blondes. So whether we're working on darker levels, we want maximum lift, but we want to work with those cooler, deeper tones. So whether it's BG, BV, green pure pigment, blue pure pigment, you're going to see them all swatched out in our shade chart. Or as we work up onto those lighter levels, really different kind of tones that we can start to mix in and get even more customization. So you can see with our customizable palette, it's really expanded. It's really created a new way of looking at color, and the blondes is a really good example of that category. And I know you're going to have a lot of fun creating some beautiful blonde looks yourself in the salon. So thank you very much, May. And next, we're going to move on to our brunettes. Our big news for brunettes is we have 4 new pure tones in 2 series. So whether we want to go to the warmer side, whether we want to go to the cooler side, we have some great new options for you. So whether we just want a lustrous, shiny, beautiful brunette, whether we're working with grey coverage, whether we're working with our natural series, our natural cool, or our NN, we have some great options. We know that grey coverage is a really big part of our business, and we know a lot of those like to be those soft, refined brunette shades. So what we've created is 2 new series, one called matte and one called beige. And the way that we're going forward with them is one is to be mixed with our natural series, one is to be mixed with our natural cool. For those of you that are used to using Aveda, of course you can play around with them and customize them and mix them in what base you like. So first of all, our matte series, which you're going to see new tones in our permanent range. So we have at our lighter level a grey violet. So we're used to seeing grey. We first really saw it in deep and demi. This time we're really seeing that into our permanent range. So at lighter levels we have a grey violet, at darker levels we have a grey green. Now these are like soft brunette options, so they're not greens as strong as with our green pure pigment or our BG for instance, but it's really designed to give us that slightly cooler, more neutral look. Then going to the warmer side, working with our natural series, we have our beige series. So again, light and dark. For light, we have a yellow violet, and for dark, we have a yellow blue. Now, a lot of the time, people think, oh, if I have yellow and blue, that's going to make green. It doesn't, because the blue is used to refine that natural remaining pigment, to cool down that color a little bit. And our yellow is going to give us that nice, beautiful golden reflection that sits over the top without too much warmth coming through. So however you want to kind of work it, again, it's about giving you new options and also making life easier for you in the salon. Because what we did is we talked to a lot of Aveda artists around the world, and things like Acacia Beige, which was from years ago, mixing VB and YO, was one of our favorites, and people to this day still really love it. So now we've taken that as our inspiration, refined it, really made that the perfect tone, and given you that in our beige series. So I'm going to talk through two of those tones. So the first model that I'm going to bring back is Brunette. So she is our really great example of our matte series, which is our grey violet or our grey green. So this time working on these absolutely beautiful curls, this lovely texture, this lovely bounce and shape through the hair. And what we wanted to do was, Brunette is naturally a level 2 and it's very dark. And what our aim with this was, she wanted to be a little bit lighter. I looked at her and thought a little bit softer with the hair color is going to look perfect on that beautiful, nice, warm skin tone. So we didn't want to go too warm with the color. We didn't want to go too ash either. We wanted quite a neutral kind of look, but on the warmer side. So what we decided to do is work with our grey green through the hair. And what we did is we colored almost 2/3 of the hair through there. So we get this nice mix where we still get this slightly more textural effect, where we still have some of that natural, very, very dark. But what we have done is really lightened that up, given us a softer look through there. It's a little bit softer against her beautiful skin tone. But again, that little bit of lightness helps define and bring out the curls through her hair. And what you can see is we have that nice, more neutral, almost kind of walnut shell toned brown through there. And again, you can see that formula on the screen. And that really just enhances this without going too warm, without going too cool, without having to go to ash colors. And what you'll notice is mixing that grey green with our natural cool series. So the two combined will really help refine that natural remaining pigment without cutting out all the warmth or making it look too dull. So this is the slightly cooler side of that nice brunette story. For our next model, we're going to go a little bit lighter. We're going to go a little bit warmer with our beige series, so you can really see those new customizable things that we have for you to use every day behind the chair. So I'm going to say goodbye to Brunette and hello to Katrina. So Katrina here, again, another dark base. We wanted to lift it up, this time be a little bit warmer. So again, working with that beige series to cut down on some of that natural remaining pigment, but really leave that gold through the hair. So sometimes we don't want a warmth that's too strong, and this is where we can really start to utilize our beige series. So again, if I just turn her around, what you can see through the hair is we have this nice mix from the darker at the root going into that lightened end. So we're using the same tones all the way through, but what we are doing is just changing our base to give us that really nice blend from darker to light. So rather than having too much of a strong shadow root in there, we just wanted that very naturally lightened look. Taking it lighter than it would ever lighten naturally, but keeping that soft, neutralish, warm, pure gold tone without that orange or that red coming through from the underneath, giving her that lift, keeping that shine and that incredible condition through her hair. So these are two amazing new additions to our line. And remember, yeah, they're there to create those beautiful brunettes, but remember, we can now mix it with extra lifting cream and start to utilize some of these tones in our much lighter levels. So thank you very much to Katrina. So starting next month, we are going to see our education roll out both virtually and in person. So make sure to check it out on AvedaPurePro.com, whichever region you are in. And we can't wait to see what you create and how much you love the next generation of Full Spectrum. So make sure to keep posting those beautiful results, and remember #AvedaArtists so we can see them and reshare them. And I know you are going to have as much fun playing, creating and being a true artist with these colors as much as we have had fun creating them. So on behalf of myself, from Barbara and Darcy, thank you very much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you soon. Lots of love. Take care.